Okay guys, it is now late fall and we're starting to put on anhydrous.
So then this is our soil temp. It's about 5 inches in the ground. It's about 47 degrees. Under 50 is the goal, lower the better. And you want moisture, which we have some moisture in the ground right now, so then everything seals up properly. I found this pinch. We're gonna make sure that that one's still working. So we want to check for depth, see what we're doing there. You can see how far we're down, make a couple adjustments. We just haven't done this in 2 years, so we want to make sure we're doing it right. I'd say he's only 4 inches in the ground. He could go deeper for sure. So this is how the bar works. There's a little opener wheel knife that comes in front, and then here's your actual knife, and this tube brings in the anhydrous, drops it in the ground, and then these kind of kick some dirt and close it up. And here's your big hose to hook up to pull from the tank once you're empty. Unhook and grab a new tank and keep moving.
I might need an strap on here, that way I can focus.
There is a little, go slow, you got gas coming out of the connection valve that you have. It just happened when you were bumping around.
We need to shut that off. Come on.
Grant's getting going here, just made one lap around the field. It's starting to seal up pretty good here.
We did about 7 acres, got this bar all hooked up. Had a little issue with the connection, just doing the border lines of Spencer's farm, or doing the headlands of Spencer's farm here. There's about 50 acres here. This was our best yielding bean field, so it'll be exciting to see what it does for corn next year. But this anhydrous is going down. This is our nitrogen. We're putting down about 130 real pounds of N, and then we're gonna also add some other nitrogen in the spring, in the middle of the summer, and in side dress here too. We did start tillage, and I only had 160 acres of corn stalks, and Mark, my neighbor, he was running a Kuhn VT that does a nice job. I was like, hey, just hit my 160 acres there, knock that out. So he did that custom for me, and then we got another 60, 70 that we're grazing cows on right now, and that's the field we pattern tiled last spring. And I need to work that somehow with like a chisel or something to get that worked down because it's extremely rough. So we're gonna let those cows graze, and then maybe in December we'll come back and I'll find a chisel to borrow or something like that, just so we can at least get that field leveled out for next year. We've got a 15 shank anhydrous bar, and then I forgot how many pounds are actually in these tanks. We've gotten there's a couple different tank sizes, but we got the big tank here. From my rough math, we can do about probably 45, 50 acres at 130 pounds. We should be able to knock her out pretty good. Rolling good. 8320R is able to pull her pretty good. With the big tank and then 15 shank. We could probably do a 17 shank, but the co-op only had a 15 shank. So Spence is rolling here.
Howdy.
Going. Putting her on. Perfect soil conditions. Usually running about 6.5 miles an hour. Spencer's doing the end rows right now, so he's running a little slower, but once we get going, pulling her right about 6.5. We got her buried pretty deep, so you can feel it behind the tractor.
All right, we're gonna do a little project here. This is the north side of the shed, and we're gonna try and get this black off of it. This is like barnacles on the bottom of a boat, right? We'll see. It might just be that stuff come off, and it'll always kind of be a dark color. So we have my buddy Parker here. He's got a whole setup and everything. So this is his setup. He does this for a living. So if anybody can get it, it's him. She's gonna hit it real quick, do a little test spot, see what happens. I have no idea. Is it gonna work?
From pressure, that's nothing.
Nice. So that one spot's just from the pressure washers. The shed that we're renting here was built over 50 years ago, and I'm sure it was never washed. So it's just that north side that was dirty, doesn't get any sunlight. Cleaned up really good here. Here's the after picture, but the different colored strips, those are actually like fiberglass transparent panels to let sunlight in, so then you can see better in the shed, especially during the day. The lighting in the building isn't the best, so that's really nice to have sunlight coming through, and it lights the whole inside up.
Okay, Spencer and I finished up this 50 acres yesterday. I hooked to a new tank, and so now we're gonna head to a new field, Star Anhydrous. There's about 75 acres there. Got a nice breeze today, so perfect day to put on anhydrous, cold temps. We're gonna head there now. We gotta knock out that 70-acre farm and then a 50-acre farm, which we call the Interstate Farm, that's about 15 miles away from this one. So hopefully we can get both those done today. Should be able to, as long as nothing goes wrong. We did have a little miscommunication where we didn't have the correct meter cal number. When we were hooking up the bar with the co-op guy, we were like, okay, we gotta change that meter cal. We went back in the display and completely forgot to exchange the meter cal. So we didn't put on the exact rate we want on this field. We still have anhydrous down. We're just gonna have to make up for a little bit of it in the springtime with some 32%. That's fine, no big deal, but it's just first time using this bar, something learning. And now we got the correct meter cal in, so we should be good. Okay, we are rolling on anhydrous. We're doing kind of the main part of the field. I got all the end rows done, and so we're knocking out quick. I've got about 20 acres left on this tank, probably, and then we're gonna flip-flop tanks. Spencer, unfortunately, is kind of running around this morning and couldn't make it, so I'm having Key Co-op guy run me a tank to get through this field, and Spencer's gonna be here a little later this afternoon to keep running tanks for me, and I need fuel pretty soon in this tractor, so. Pulling her about 6.5 mile an hour, 10th gear, can pull her fine, and seems to be doing a decent job sealing. The only thing I noticed is on right behind the tractor wheel tracks on these shanks, they don't obviously do as good a job sealing compared to going through ground that hasn't been disturbed or compacted. So we do have a pretty big waterway that we cross here that gets kind of like, it's a pretty deep waterway, so I gotta take it pretty slow through here with these tanks. In case you guys are like new to the channel or have never seen anhydrous, most of you guys probably have. This is a form of nitrogen that we're putting down for next year's crop. We have N-Serve going on with it, which will help stabilize it over the winter. We're putting about 130 pounds of product down, and then in the springtime, either with the pre-emerge sprayer, I'll come back with maybe another 30 pounds, and then we'll also probably do a wide drop side dress pass with another 30 or 40 pounds most likely for this crop, depending on our yield goal here. So it's nice to be able to get it on in the fall. You get it done. Usually conditions are a little better in the spring. You're not creating as much compaction out there, but otherwise, if you can't get it done in the fall, like last year, a lot of guys couldn't get it all done in the fall, where a lot of guys had to apply this in the springtime. These soils are heavy enough, they have a high enough CEC that we can hold this nitrogen in the soil. If you get some sandy soil, sometimes it doesn't have enough CEC where you can hold a good amount of nitrogen in the soil here. This farm is all finished up. Sorry I did not film much on this farm. Had a couple shear bolts break. It was out there, and I'm trying to always focus on that, and so I don't film too much. I film a little less when we're doing anhydrous or something like that, so especially the out of tractor shots. We're done with this field, and then we're heading to the Interstate Farm. I closed all the valves on the tank. I left everything connected, and then I think the word is purge, or bled out the system on the bar, just so nothing will leak there when we're going down the road. So everything should be safe and good to go down the road here. We have about, gosh, I think it's 20 miles maybe, probably 15 miles over to the next farm. So it's a little bit of a truck.
This is the last field we're doing, unless a neighbor needs a hand. I brought him the last tank here. he should only need like a quarter of this to finish. But it's been a really nice wind. So whenever it's over 10-mile-an-hour winds, when you're disconnecting or hooking back up to a tank, there's always a little bit of gas you got to bleed off. And then if there's ever an accident, you know which way to park, which way to face. And that way, worst thing would be you're doing anhydrous, no wind, you have a hose break, something, you need to get to turn off the tank. And because there's no wind taking the gas away, you can't get to where you need to go. So it's always nice when there's a obvious breeze and it's not changing on you. It makes it a lot safer. And it's nice to be getting this done here because they're talking some snow in a couple days here. Pretty good chance for it. Lows in the teens. All right, last tank is going on here. We're getting hooked up. Should be able to finish right when the sun's setting. He's only got like 20 or 30 acres left. What's really nice is these tanks, really nice running gear, super solid. We haven't done hydrous for 2 years, but the ones we used before from a different co-op, they were a little sketchy going down the roads. So like I was saying earlier, the wind is kind of your friend when you're doing this. So when the sun sets, past couple days, the wind's really calmed down. So we actually moved the tank because the bar leaks a little bit or purges a little bit once in a while. And that's why these masks are so handy. If I was hanging out like over where it was, the wind just wasn't in the right direction. If you don't have a mask on after a while, you get kind of a little dizzy. Nice and slow. Yep. And like I was saying, we wanted to be upwind because this bar, they're all a little old, they drip a little. It's interesting, it's just the downhill shanks are dripping, like the bottom four there. Everything uphill isn't. So we're gonna get going, got it switched out, last one. And yeah, I'm gonna go grab that tank way down there and bring it back, and Grant will finish out here. Sun is a setting, and Grant's probably an hour or so he'll be done.